when I was browsing the internet looking for a picture of Bill Belichick, I ran into this very great article written by Alex Barth. He works for 985thesportshub.com, and I'm not going to read the whole entire article, just a key point of the article. But for those of you guys who want to read the whole article, the link to it will be down in the comment section in the description down below. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, all you just got to do is look up Bill Belichick building a throwback roster, and it should pop up on Google. So, one of the key points of this article, it says, as hard as it is to picture, there is part of the Bill Belichick Patriots era that existed pre-Tom Brady. In fact, Bill had a whole 2 off seasons of putting together a team before Brady really became part of the picture. With Brady now headed for Tampa, will Bill handle things any differently than how he has the past 18 years? You could argue that Brady established himself as a sure thing after winning the Super Bowl in 2001. If not, the next year proving 0-1 wasn't a fluke. Keeping that in mind, what do Belichick's move in the off seasons prior, mainly focusing on 2000-2001, tell us about what would he do now? Those early 2000 Patriots teams weren't even supposed to be built around Tom Brady. The identity of those teams was meant to be an elite defense with a neutral passing offense carried by a power run game that could chew up yards and clock. Brady's emergence allowed them to add a passing dynamic, but that was a bonus. In 2000, the Patriots used 2 of their top 3 draft picks on big road-grading offensive linemen, Adrian Clem, Greg Robinson-Randall. The next year, Belichick once again used 2 of his top 4 picks on linemen, Matt Light, Kenyatta Jones, the other 2 picks being defensive tackle Richard Seymour and cornerback Brock Williams, who were dedicated to the defense. During that span of free agency, the Patriots added eventual crucial pieces to the multiple championship defense that they had. In 2001, they added and signed Mike Vrabel, Warren Pfeiffer, Terrell Buckley, Anthony Pleasant, and Brian Cox. In 2001, they added running back Antoine Smith, who proved to be a core workhorse back for the first 2 Super Bowl runs. Guard Mike Compton, who was among their top signings, and he started all 16 games during the New England Patriots Super Bowl run. Now, looking back at Belichick's moves over the past few off seasons and early this off season, he may be back on that track. The majority of his year signings this past free agency so far has been on the defensive side of football. They signed safety Adrian Phillips, Buell Allen, and Brandon Copeland. And probably the 3 biggest external names they have brought in so far. On top of that, speculation has been, since the virus going around, that the physical is the only thing holding up the team from adding pass rusher Derek Wolfe. Now, Belichick has made a point of blustering the offensive line, highlighted by the surprising decision to franchise tag guard Joe Thuney. You could also argue the planning for the running game goes back as far as 2018 when the team drafted running back Sony Michel in the first round. He hasn't exactly been the flashy playmaker fans expected as a first-round pick to be, but based on what we've seen in the first 2 years, it's not unrealistic to think that he could play an Antoine Smith-type role in this post-Brady offense. Now, also in the article, if you guys want to finish up reading the article, it says that the Patriots roster is basically centered around what it looks to be a power run game. And that's why I really like this article. This isn't one of those outlandish articles that's talking about the Patriots tanking for Trevor Lawrence or anything outlandish like that. This is an article that talks about what Bill Belichick has done in the past and how he could be doing it this coming or right now this offseason. And I mean, I don't think this is far-fetched. I actually think this is a realistic possibility. And here's why. Bill Belichick is the greatest head coach in the NFL for a reason. I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick anticipated this coming. I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick never had the idea that Tom Brady was going to be a Patriots his whole entire career. And I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick has a plan set in place. And I don't believe that plan involves taking for Trevor Lawrence. And you got to think, Bill Belichick over the last couple of seasons has drafted a lot of halfbacks. He drafted Sony Michel. And plus, he also drafted Damian Harris last draft, which was a big surprise. A lot of people were like, why would they draft Damian Harris when they already had Burkhead, Michel, and James White? And now, after reading this article, it makes sense. Bill Belichick is now building a team that is built to run the football. A power run team, right? And that's similar to how the 49ers constructed their defense and their team last offseason. You got Jimmy Garoppolo, who wasn't really asked that much to carry the load on the offense. I mean, he could throw the football when asked to, but really, it was a run-first offense. It was an offense that was built around a good trio of halfbacks, Matt Breida, Telvin Coleman, and they also had the emergence of Mostert, right? Then, when asked to, you could pass the football. But, I mean, that wasn't the identity of the 49ers offense. The identity of their offense was running the football, and they had a great defense as well. And you look at the Patriots, I mean, you got a great secondary. You got the McCourty twins. You got Stephon Gilmore. So, this article, to me, makes a lot of sense of what Bill Belichick could be doing for the 2020 NFL season. You got Jarrett Stidham at the quarterback position, right? Jarrett Stidham had a really phenomenal preseason in 2019. Now, a lot of people aren't really sold on Jarrett Stidham. They always talk about that pick that he threw to Jamal Adams. Listen, are you really going to judge somebody for coming in on short-term notice and throwing a pass? Really? So I think that Jarrett Stidham is the future at the quarterback position for the New England Patriots. I mean, look what they did at the quarterback position the last couple of years. Since when have the New England Patriots ever drafted a quarterback in the first round? They could have been drafted the quarterback in the first round to find Tom Brady's replacement if they really wanted to. They could have drafted Lamar Jackson last year. I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick knew that Tom Brady was eventually going to leave, and he could have drafted the quarterback in the first round the last couple of drafts, but he didn't. And look what he did. Jimmy Garoppolo was a second-round pick. Jacoby Brissett was a mid-round pick. And the Patriots had enough confidence when Brady got suspended for the whole Deflategate debacle and things like that. Instead of picking up another quarterback like a lot of people thought they would, a lot of people said they should sign Colin Kaepernick. What did the Patriots do? They started Jimmy Garoppolo. He went 4-0 as a starter. He got injured. Jacoby Brissett became the starter. After a lot of people still felt they should go ahead and sign Kaepernick because they didn't even know who the hell Jacoby Brissett was, he ended up being a pretty solid starter. And now both of those guys were starting quarterbacks. Garoppolo was starting quarterback for the 49ers. Brissett last season was a starting quarterback for the Colts. And now you look at the Patriots roster at the halfback position. I mean, you got Harris, you got Michelle, you got James White and Rex Burkhead. So I believe that this could be the plan for the New England Patriots going into the 2020 football season. Strong running the football with a strong power game, chewing the clock, controlling time possession, and winning by strong defenses. And I mean, a lot of people may ask the question, the article also talks about, does this style that Bill Belichick won games with in 2001 and 2000s work now in today's NFL? Yes, it does. A recent example, I just named the 49ers. The Jacksonville Jaguars from, 2017 to 2018 won when they had Blake Bortles at quarterback and ran the football up and down people's throats with Leonard Fournette and had that great defense with Jalen Ramsey and Calais Campbell with multiple Pro Bowlers on that defense. So this style in the NFL can work. Jarrett Stidham could work. I mean, Jarrett Stidham, if he is the starting quarterback going forward for the New England Patriots in this offense, he's not going to be asked to do that much. All he's going to be asked to do is basically hand the football off and basically throw the football when needed to. So I think that this is probably the plan for the New England Patriots going forward in 2020, which is why I like this article so much. And once again, make sure you guys go ahead and check out this article down in the description in the comment section down below, because this is one of the few articles I've read about the New England Patriots that I can actually get behind and actually make sense. Not trying to trade for Deshaun Watson, not hoping to pick him up in free agency, not trying to take for Trevor Lawrence. This seems like a Bill Belichick type move. Winning with the pieces and players that he has around him. He has a good run blocking offensive line. He doesn't have the best core wide receivers, but he has receivers that would be really good under play action. You got N'Keal Harry, who's good at catching 50-50 balls. You got Jacoby Myers, who is also a very good deep threat as well. We didn't really get to see that as much last season because Tom Brady didn't really try to throw the football last season that much because the offensive line wasn't really that good. But I think that this is the plan for the New England Patriots going forward in 2020. And this is a very good article by Alex Barth of 985thesportshub.com. The New England Patriots could very well be building a team that's built to run the football. And you can win with this kind of football. I know a lot of people make it seem like you got to be able to throw the football for 5,000 yards with having a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes and things like that, but that's not necessarily the case. It's been several great teams over the past couple of years that have won this way. I can give you another example. The 2015 Denver Broncos. When Peyton Manning ended up declining in the middle of the season out of nowhere, and Brock Osweiler came back for a couple of games, then Peyton Manning ended up being the starter throughout the Denver Broncos playoff run. That was a run-heavy football team led by halfback C.J. Anderson. And basically, this was a Denver Broncos team that basically carried Peyton Manning to a Super Bowl. Peyton Manning wasn't really asked to do that much. Denver was running the ball up and down people's throats, and they had a great defense as well. And this was when Peyton Manning basically had Father Time hit him in the middle of the season. He basically declined. His body basically broke down in the middle of the season for the Denver Broncos in 2015. And basically what they did was they ran the football and had a great defense lead them to the Super Bowl in 2015. So I think this could very well much be the plan for the New England Patriots in 2020. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content, and thanks for watching. If you're listening to this on a podcast, also make sure to subscribe to the podcast. I'm uploading podcasts weekly, so make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the podcast if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, or wherever you're watching the podcast. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast for more podcasts. And thanks for listening, and thanks for watching.